Done it. We've spent too much time outside in the sun with no sun protection and ended up with a sunburn. So we don't want to let that happen to you and repeat those mistakes. So we have some advice this morning from our Baptist doctor, Dr. Devin Ballard with Sherwood Family Medical Clinic. But first of all, we want to tell everybody that you were safe yesterday.
I was safe.
We said he was coming yesterday. He never showed up because
the truck battery does not start, and it's a challenge to jump with a hybrid because the battery's in the back trunk section. So that was interesting. But I got a little save from Grapevine and Dr. Gerson, and then Mr. Frank Fletcher and Mark Miller fixed it for me, and we're all good now.
You're all good now. And here to talk about sunscreen, which we really need to, just like car batteries, we need to think about this ahead of time, don't we? First of all, why is sunscreen so important?
Sunscreen important, just sunburns. If you don't have sunscreen, most people's skin in general will start burning within, depending on the tone of your skin. You're a little darker than me. 15 minutes to 20 minutes, you can actually start having a sunburn, which can, from UVA and UVB, which we're going to talk about, and that can cause problems in the long run, especially if we start getting sunburns when we're kids. The 1-year-old, 2-year-old, 3-year-old sunburns are what causes problems when we get a little bit older.
When we get older. Now, some people say, I have a good tan, I don't need sunscreen at all.
Absolutely wrong.
Absolutely wrong.
They may have a little, melanin in the skin is a protectant against ultraviolet light, A and B. Some people have more inherent protection, aka they're a little darker complected. Does not mean they cannot get sunburned, does not mean they can't have the skin changes or skin damage changes later on in life.
So let's jump into the different kinds, because it is overwhelming when you go to the store and there's so many different things on the shelf.
There's hundreds of them. So really you're looking for the SPF, which is a sun protective factor. And the FDA actually changed the rules for SPF and sunscreen this month in June. For labeling will change. There's no more sweat proof and waterproof and all that kind of things. That's actually going to change. And broad spectrum is going to change, where SPF has to protect against, or the sunscreens have to protect against UVA and UVB both to be considered broad spectrum, because both of those we're exposed to, and both of those cause skin lesions, skin cancers, if not taken care of appropriately. So really, from an SPF standpoint, just look at the number. You're looking from an SPF in general from 15 to 20. The SPF hundreds, really the protection is about 3% more from an SPF 20 to SPF 100. So 15 to 20 range.
A lot of people use 30 though. Is that not necessary?
No, I mean you get about an extra percent and a half protection from the sun itself. But SPF is actually just tells you, most people will burn within 20 minutes. SPF 15 will give you 15 times longer protection. But an SPF 20 versus 100, the 100's not 5 times more protective. So it's a little confusing, but theoretically, you should have 4 hours of coverage. We still need to probably apply every 80 minutes or so, because we're sweating, we got sandals on that might rub off the sunscreen in the lake, or have a vest on, something that can make the sunscreen go away. Need to reapply pretty aggressively, adults and kids, and that's what people sometimes forget to do.
So are you saying when it says waterproof, and I think this one does, that's not actually the case?
It's a little bit, it's a formulation in the product. It may stay on a little bit longer, but you can't. It's really not going to have any sweat-proof, waterproof, because when you sweat, it runs down and it gets off your skin, so you need to reapply. So the kids are the important one. The pediatricians actually recommend no sunscreen under the age of 6 months. Just keep them out of the sun. And there's sun protective clothing that people can wear. For us guys that don't have much hair on the top of our head, watch the top of your scalp. And for your kids too. Actually, I took my kids to the lake the other day, and every hour I was lathering them up. My daughter got a sunburn on the top of her head. I didn't think about the top of the head.
Especially guys, Quickly about the makeup, because they sell us makeup now, and they say, oh, this has SPF 15 in it, it's good for you. And
it actually is good. A lot of the makeup products are protective now, and not just the makeup, but the creams that the lotions put on the face. Most of them are usually SPF 15 or so, or 15 or 20. which is good overall. They used to not have that, so kind of something you got to do every day anyway, and so it just gives a little inherent protection for the face. But you'll see people when they get older that that used to work on the farm, and you'll see significant sun changes just from they never use that stuff, and so you'll see the skin changes.
Right.
We always worry about the skin cancers, which are kind of a big deal, and the melanoma is the bad word we don't want to hear, which we don't want to go to car tie for.
Sure, absolutely. It all ties in together, so protect yourself. Okay, great information today. We want to put up the information about Baptist Health's Healthline as well at 1-888-BAPTIST. That's the number to get more information on whether it's skin cancer, protecting yourself, or any other health issues. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
15 to 20 at least.
Yeah.
That's the number to remember.
For sure.
Okay. Stay